must bring the one and only Zach Stuck inside of this show. He is a developer of all-star D2C talent. We have recently learned Appleton, Wisconsin is where all of the great digital talent comes from. And
absolutely,
I think there's good reason for that. It's probably this guy who has been helping and growing and developing said persons and helping various brands win on the interwebs. Sold Homestead. Big congrats on that. Now
Huge.
Hollow, Marsmen, going to the moon. I even wonder if I could take this stuff and feel like I'm 25 again, which would be awesome. Everybody, welcome inside of the show, Zach Stuck, co-founder of Marsmen. Get in here, Zach. Get in here.
Go.
Zach, we appreciate you making the time to join us, brother. Welcome to the show.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
Where are you?
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
you
sound great. You sound crispy, silky. Where are you right now? You got some beautiful natural light coming in on your face.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I'm in Appleton, Wisconsin, the hometown. Born and raised, as you just
said.
Probably a Packers fan. The come up of D2C's talents, all from Wisconsin. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we've got a lot of alumni coming out of this town, which is wild, actually. But yeah, man, good to be here.
Zach, give us a little bit of this story, bro. Yeah. Because I this is like to me, this is like I've never even heard of Appleton. I know you guys got Homestead going some odd many years ago. Found your way to win on the internet, and now here we are today.
Well, I will be honest. Every single sales call that I took for Homestead when we got started, they'd be like, "Oh, so where are you guys based? LA? No. Oh, Austin. New York? No. Wisconsin. What?" So that's how everyone started for the first 4 years, and then people started to pick up on it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the story really is I started selling stuff on the internet when I was in high school. Did the normal degenerate things where you get things for free and you resell them on the internet when you're 14. Yeah. And that's kind of fun. You learn the eBay game, you kind of get things figured out. You start building websites, you drop out of college to take a job at an agency when you're 19, and fast forward, here we are. So, I mean, that's kind of the roots background, but I mean, I worked for 3 agencies before starting my own. So I did have a bit of a playbook before starting Homestead, and I mean, I had no idea what I was doing when I started that company, especially when it came to leading and building a team. But it worked out. It worked out in the long run. So
let me ask you.
That's kind of where things started.
Let me ask you this: at this point, I mean, you've sold Homestead. You've got many brands going up and to the right forever and ever. Do you feel like you know what you're doing now? I mean, I'm genuinely asking. I mean, part of me feels like I'm always just figuring it out as I go.
Yeah, I mean, no, I definitely have imposter syndrome still. I think the numbers keep changing, the target keeps changing. I think what's really interesting about living here is that there's nobody in ecom, not that many people, I should say. There's 3 or 4 people. So if I don't see Ryan Doney or Mike Lucas or a few of these people, Connor Lane comes back or Cam Bush comes back to town, there's just not many people doing what we do. So when you're out and about, hanging out, going to watch a game with some friends, no one gives a shit. No one knows about ecom. No one cares. So that is kind of a funny spot to be in, where if I lived in Austin or LA or New York, I'd be at one of these D2C events every single week, right? Because there's just cool people everywhere, right? So I think that's kind of the weird, am I doing this right thing that I still feel every weekend is I feel like I'm locked in during the week and then go to the weekends and I don't know what's going on. So yes and no. I feel like starting brands now, I have a clear, I think playbook that we've been able to repeat now a few times. And, but I mean, Marsmen is hitting new heights that I've never been a part of before. So it's a lot of new learning that, it just takes it just takes some resilience and takes a good network to kind of keep pushing through. Right. So despite, the business keeps growing, I'm constantly talking to other people. So you've got Groons behind you. I'm talking to the Groons team. There's a handful of other brands. I'm just the Javi guys I talk to all the time. There's all these other brands I'm just constantly trying to learn from. So by all means, I definitely don't have it figured out, but definitely know a little bit more than what I did when I started the agency,
sure.
9 years
sure
ago.
That's
So
the case. Yeah, absolutely.
It's so funny that you feel that way. I feel the same way about Charlotte because there's not a big ecom presence here. And so I'll go out into the weekend and it's like, what do you do? Like, it's e-commerce. And then people are like, I don't care, dude. I'm in banking. I work for like Bank of America, Wells Fargo. It's like, dude, I don't know who you are. Could you talk to us a little bit about what's going on with Marsmen? How is everything going? You're saying you're scaling up and to the right. Can Chris and I take this and just become absolutely shredded before we
I
get
want
to
to be yoked
roundtable? Like,
I do.
Talk to us about it. Talk to us about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like first and foremost, like I always try to give my business partner Benjamin kudos for this. He's the original idea maker of the product, of the formulation, of the concept. So like I didn't come up with Marsmen. Benjamin Smith came up with Marsmen, brought me the idea and said, I think we should do this together. Benjamin was the founder of a brand called Disco. It's like a men's skincare brand. Very hard category to be in. Not quite makeup, but like almost there. I think that there's an opportunity now that like the subscription thing is becoming more normalized for consumers, that I think if you were to build Disco now, he probably would have had more success than what he did. But so anyways, Ben brought it to me. Ben, if you go look at photos of Ben is jacked. I've been taking the product as well. And like, I definitely lost some weight. I'm not quite as jacked as Ben by any means, like nowhere near. There's not many people that are, but he's like proof of living out the brand. He like, we had our team offsite. Dude didn't have one drink, like alcoholic drink, none.
Wow.
Drinking sparkling water the whole trip. He's eating only fruits and vegetables. He is like the Marsmen guy. So, I mean, if you want to follow the full protocol, like you could definitely get jacked. I think, we've had a lot of customers send in insane stories of, we had like a guy with like a 500-600 point lift in testosterone by taking the product for like a few months. Crazy. Wow. So, we've got a clinical study. We've run one already. We're running another. So it definitely should help. Right. And I think the one thing that's interesting about Mars is like, we've been talking about female hormones for a long time. There's been a lot of women's brands. There hasn't been many brands that actually talk about men's hormones. Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men's like apparel brands and, the wallet companies of the world and all sorts of stuff like that for guys, but there hasn't been as many like, this is a supplement for men's hormones specifically, and testosterone being one of the main ones. It just made a lot of sense. So yeah, I mean, business is going good. We haven't shared our revenue numbers publicly, but we've grown a bit since like the kind of 0 to 100 million run rate in 18 months. So definitely grown since then. We've got some interesting stuff coming. We've got a nationwide retail rollout coming out in the next week. So that should be fun. And that'll be a cool announcement. Can't say who yet, but that'll be a cool one to drop. So yeah, I mean, things are going good.
What that deserves? That deserves one of those. That's what it deserves. Exactly.
Ben recently hanging out with the one and only David Dobrik in Monaco. I mean, unbelievable. Like, are you guys going to be pushing into YouTube? Are you guys thinking about YouTube as a kind of a push forward for the brand?
So it's hilarious that you bring that up. That's like my number one project right now as the CMO of Mars is to go crack YouTube. So I don't know if you've seen this, but like there's been a lot of brands that have really scaled their Amazon, especially in the supplement space. And I've talked to as many of them as I can. And YouTube is actually like the number one Halo channel that's been helping even more than TikTok Shop. So that's definitely a big initiative for us, is to continue to take like our meta ads playbook, and go start to build out an ecosystem over there. So yeah, I wouldn't say like the organic YouTube per se, but more on like my normal playbook, which is the ad side.
Yeah, what I find fascinating about this, Zach, of course, there's always in what we do, there's the tactical piece, there's, everything that you're doing practically to scale advertising and things like this. But what I find so interesting about Marsmen is that it hits a very real like pain point for men that I think we're often like not thinking about, like frontal lobe. Like it's not like sitting on my forehead every day, but when I hear and I know like, oh yeah, like testosterone is like levels down. Like my 70-year-old granddad had higher testosterone than the teenagers running around.
Yeah.
On average now. And then you feel that, man, I'm getting a little older. It's like, yeah, I want to be jacked. I want to be like, I want to be macho. It's like one of the few. It's like one of the few like things that you can like pain points that you can really like agitate with men. Like, don't be old and flabby, like feel young and awesome and masculine and feel like that again. It's like one of those few things I feel like for men that you can really hit and really help in a natural way.
Yeah. I would agree. And I think that's why it's been working. I think that, we can, when it comes, like, you take that and then you take it into the marketing side, like there's so many different like pain points, angles, positioning ways that we can go approach this. Right. So yeah, I mean, I think men aren't usually like, I think the bullshit rater is on more. Sorry if I can't swear on this, but
Yeah,
the BS rater is definitely like up with supplements. I think more men are not willing to try new things, right? I think more women are like, oh, I'll try collagen, I'll try this next thing, I'll try the next hot thing. I think more men are, a little bit more skeptical. So that's kind of like the interesting approach for us is like, we have this thing that we can agitate a bunch of men and kind of be like, hey, this actually could be a good fit. But then we still have to be able to sell them a product that they think is actually going to work and prove to them that it is. So that's the whole other side of like the case studies and all these real stories that we're starting to be able to like really double down on. We've really built out now our brand team who's going to start like going to shoot actual like videos with customers who've had transformations. And I think that's just like help a lot. Baby. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of these brands that run these like before afters, right? And it's like bullshit. So it's like, we want the real stories. And I think once we have that, this thing is going to go even harder. So yeah, that's how we're thinking about it.
I want the real stories with Daniel Cormier. Like they're like narrating and interviewing.
Yeah, I mean, we literally just shot with Daniel Cormier like a week ago. So
let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. I just saw like the rough cuts. It's sick. So yeah, no, the team just did a full shoot with him. He's amazing. So
let's go. I mean, Zach, you famously have scaled up Hollow socks from 0 to many, many millions of dollars for alpaca socks. What are like the key learnings, if you could grab like 1, 2, or 3 from the Zach Stuck playbook that you brought over to Marsmen through that scaling journey? Because you kind of like scaled it up secretively, and then you were a little bit more open about it, and then you were like, here's a test we did, then you pulled it back, and it was kind of like this flirtatious thing you were doing with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Hollow was candidly, like Hollow was a great reason for people to believe in Homestead at the end of the day, right? It was like, hey, we're going to go prove that we can do this ourselves. And I don't know what the last public number that I shared was of Hollow. I mean, we did 47 million last year. We should come close to doubling that this year. So yeah, it's a big business for just alpaca socks, which is pretty wild. I mean, I think the real sauce of it is that we created new products that allowed us to go tap into new markets, which then just created more TAM, right? And we were able to use the same problem solution methodology in all of our marketing efforts and just go talk to different customers that way. So, we always talk about this, but it's like, we started with the hunter. Great. They have cold feet. They want warm feet. That's awesome. We can like problem solution our way through that. Then it was like, okay, how do we go sell to this person outside of just like this little pocket in Q4? Who are our customers? Oh, some of them are blue collar workers. Let's go build a trade sock. Let's go build a sock for them during the day where that they're on their feet, they're hot, they're sweaty, they're getting blisters on their feet. How can we make a product that actually solves that? Cool. Now let's go figure out what's the product that we can solve for people, more people even year round. And that was compression socks. And so like compression, for the most part, like that was a new product that we were able to say, all right, there's all of these like medical grade like socks that people can buy at like a CVS or a Walgreens. The product actually sucks. They're like cheap, shitty cotton socks. They're made out of a ton of like synthetics, and they like actually soak up sweat. And like usually at the end of the day, that's why people like hate wearing compression socks, is because of like, they're not soft. They soak up sweat. They start to smell. Like there's all of these downsides. With alpaca, we have all the opposites of that. They're soft. They don't smell. They don't soak up sweat. They wick moisture. Yeah. And so it was like, cool, we can take the same problem solution, just go create a new thing. We took that same methodology with Mars and we just treat it as different pillars, right? So we talk about stress and cortisol. We talk about weight loss. We talk about, muscle building. We talk about all of these different things, right? And each one of those is pockets of spend. So instead of having to create new products, we just created new pillars within the business that we can go target and talk to men about. And so, yeah, I mean, like right now we're going to go double down on sleep, right? So sleep is when you actually are producing. If you REM properly and you sleep correctly, that is when you're producing the testosterone for the day. If you sleep poorly, your testosterone inconsistently, your testosterone is usually low. Our product has ingredients that help you sleep better at night. We've had a lot of customers tell us that like they take the product at night specifically because they're sleeping better due to it. So that's like a whole other pillar, right? Like you wouldn't think a testosterone supplement would be able to talk about sleep. We can talk about sleep because it's actually tied to that same hormone. And like if you continue to tell that problem solution story, it works. So I kind of took that methodology that we learned from dropping new products, and we basically said we can just do that with one. Similar to like Grüns, IMA, like all these other ones. I'm sure you see this if you dig into their ad libraries. Like they're talking about so many different things that all tie into the same one product. That's why those businesses scale.
What is the next big idea that could change your business? Is it a price change, adding subscriptions, maybe a new bundle, strategy, or an app? Discovering and testing those high growth opportunities is exactly why Intelligence exists. It's an AI powered testing platform, helps you find the changes worth making. If you're looking for your next big idea, they have you covered. Go to intelligence.io/audit. In just a few minutes, you're gonna have 3 ideas that you can test today. Totally free, AI powered audit. Go talk with Intelligence. Get the next new big idea for your business. Many thanks for Intelligence being part of the show. If you're in the ads manager all day long, you know the problem. Every platform takes credit. Every dashboard tells a different story. Meta says this, TikTok says that, Shopify says I made this much, I spent that much. Sometimes it's hard to know which ad platform is telling the truth. Northbeam fixes this with their own proprietary data. Starting from the actual purchase, rebuilding the customer journey from real orders, real clicks, real verified ad views, and then pushing that measurement back into the ad platform so they optimize on what's actually driving your revenue, not what those platforms assume is driving your revenue. Start measuring what was previously unmeasurable. Go to northbeam.io, book your demo today. Many thanks for Northbeam being part of the show.
Yeah, that's why Marsman is scaling.
I love this angle. Number 2, I'm glad that I was reminded about sleep. I sleep very poorly. And so this is probably why I need a little Marsman help. This is a great correlation because in my mind, especially apparel or some other places, it's like product is marketing. You develop a new product, reach a new audience, frame it a new way. But this is interesting how you've connected this on the supplement side and taken that as a pillar, a segment, a new problem, a new solution, and reframing that, new landers, new ads, and all of that, and doing it with the same thing. I find that compelling.
And that's how you get more scale, right? Because at the end of the day, like if you're only talking about one thing, like let's just say we only marketed to natural bodybuilders.
Yeah.
That TAM is only so big, right? When you start talking about sleep, it's like, okay, every single man in the world probably has some issues with sleep to some degree. If we can explain to them why this product will help them sleep better, which then will also create more testosterone, which will give them more energy throughout the day. It's like, okay, we have a whole other market that we can go down. So yeah, I think more brands need to not just like think so linearly and like actually think like, how can I think more horizontally and create more pockets of how I talk about our product?
Yeah. Zach, I find the reason you've mentioned, hey, like why we started Hollow, and that being like a big, it's like a case study for Homestead. I've been agency side a couple of times. I've been brand side many times. Had my own brands. This is always the question when you're agency side. I feel like in the back of the mind of the brand operator, the brand founder, it's like, well, if you're so good at this, like why aren't you doing this thing for yourself? I feel like if everybody could do this, don't you think it would help a lot of our agency friends win business? Not that it's easy to do. I think it's very hard to do.
Totally. Yeah.
But it's a great selling point.
Yeah, I mean, it made it easy, right? We can literally like the one thing about when you're selling a service, it's you can talk about like we help this brand grow, but you can't be specific. I could literally open up our P&L and be like, here, look. Here's how much money you spend on Meta. Here's how much money you spend on Google. Here's how we think about things. Here's the landing pages that we built for it. Here's how we think about offers. Here's how we think about new products. Like we could talk to them as if we were them, which we were. So I think that just got us so much more buy-in for people to take a shot at us and try us out. So yeah, for sure it had and then also being able to tweet stuff. Like you can share little bits and details about your clients. You can't share everything. I was literally just given, here's the playbook. Here's exactly what we just did. Here's the numbers. Here's what we did in revenue yesterday. Like no one else can do that. So I think that was a huge lead pipeline for the business. I think it was necessary for Homestead to grow as big as it got. I do think it is hard though. Like the balance is really hard. If I didn't have Riley Trotter, who's my business partner and took over as CEO of Homestead, I would have never been able to start the brands. Like if I wasn't able to step down, I just wouldn't have had the capacity because, that's the hard thing about even the holdco is like, I've just now brought in a GM of Hollow, Josh Haskins, who's taken over. He came from Nike Strength. Like, I wouldn't be able to be putting this time and energy into Marsmen if I didn't have Josh, right? So I think it's, when you think about, he's got all these different companies. Yeah, but I have like a CEO in one, I have a GM in another, like who will probably become CEO. Like, there's all these things that are happening that it's just too hard to do them all well. There's always a problem with one of them. And if you're in the service business, there's always a problem every single day. So it's like, yeah, I think that everyone should try it if they have ambitions to try it. But I would say, like, you need to build the capacity to go do it, which I think that's the hard part. It's like being able to step away from the agency to go start the brand.
Sure.
I'm so glad you touched on that, because I was going to ask you how you balance basically building an $80 million brand while building an 85-person agency. And if you were to tell a person, hey, could you do both of these things at once and go do it? They would be like, are you crazy? Like, no, I can't do both of those things at once. Could you talk a little bit more about this holdco, what you guys are excited about? And then also, are you potentially grabbing some more brands up to go inside of the holdco as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll talk about the holdco for a second. So Easy Street Brands is 2 brands. It was 6. We've narrowed down to
6.
2. Yeah, crazy, right? So we sold 2 and shut down 2.
Okay.
One was a Melt Tape brand. Everyone saw that thing just go up and to the right and then absolutely fall down once it became a commodity on TikTok Shop. So we started one of those, sleep accessory. Funny enough, with Benjamin Smith, we started 2 brands. One was Marsman and one was this Melt Tape brand. And I thought the Melt Tape brand was going to be bigger than Marsman. I was very wrong in that. And so we shut that one down, but Ben and I were doing 2 together. And then, yeah, what else do we have? I had a laundry detergent business called Frey that I sold my shares in. And then a home decor business that we sold. And then a notebook company that just like wasn't the right product. So the 2 that lasted were Hollow Socks and then Mars. But new brands, no. It's just like these things are getting so big that it's like every extra moment of distraction of like, could I go start another supplement business? Like, it's just for where Mars is headed and the potential of it. Every extra hour that I don't put into that thing is like a potential big loss of future outcome. So I mean, that's kind of where my head's at right now, is just the main focus. And I mean, candidly, Josh is running Hollow, and the team over there is rocking and rolling. And similar to like Homestead, like I stepped down when we were 35 employees as CEO. And so Riley's the one that doubled it. And I think Josh is going to be the one that takes us from 47 to 90 to probably 120 next year. So I think that's like, you can build a great playbook and you can build a great ecosystem, but if you bring in a good leader who can actually like build systems, like that's the one thing about me is like, I'm horrible at systems and like building SOPs and all that. I won't do it. Like my business partner Ben at Marsman is like,
that makes me feel good.
Benjamin at Marsman this morning and I got in like a mini argument because he was like, hey, you got to go put your projects in the projects tracker. And I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. Sorry. Like, have your assistant do it. I'm like, she's not even going to do it. So yeah. There's a certain thing that you can't break, and it's just like the way that you operate. And it's, I'm really good at getting things starting and building the momentum. And then I hit kind of a threshold of like, now it's just repeat and let it consistently grow and compound. And I get really bored in that moment. I'm not good at that moment either. So that's where Riley did a great job with Homestead. I think Josh is going to do a good job for Hollow. So that's where Mars is like getting all my time and attention right now, because it's just all kind of shooting from the hip and trying a bunch of new stuff.
Zach, it sounds like you also have this underlying superpower that you are like not realizing, in a sense that you can spot exceptional talent and then you give them the reins to go run this thing up. Where have you like found that eye for talent? Because you keep basically finding these gems and everybody's like, oh yeah, there's that person. They just scaled 1 billion brands. Oh, it's from Zach, obviously. Like, how are you doing this?
Honestly, I don't know. Like I hire off of intuition more than anything. Like I hired a guy today that I interviewed. First interview, Google. He's going to run Google for us at Marsman. 30-minute interview, 5 minutes in, I'm like, he's hired, done. So I think that a lot of it is just if people bring the right energy, and then you can just tell. Like I think you can tell very quickly if someone is bullshit. I think my bullshit radar is very high. I think I've gotten very good at figuring out if people are full of it or actually know what they're talking about. I think our team actually brought this up because I told them like, oh yeah, I hired a Google buyer. And they're like, that was quick. I'm like, yeah, first interview, liked them, done. And they're like, you have this ability to like not miss on hires because Our attrition at Hollow is very, very low. Our attrition at Homestead, very, very low. Outside of the ones that got poached for like insane roles. Same for Mars. Like we just haven't had people leave. I think that it's more about the energy than anything else. Like I think I pick up on people's energy, and if they have that want to grow and that like ambition and they're excited, and even if they haven't had the perfect background, like the guy that's running operations for Marsman right now was a school teacher 5 years ago.
Let's go, school teacher.
He was an elementary school teacher, had no background in ecom, none, zero. But I met him through a friend, really liked him. He was ambitious. I'm like, we can figure this out together. So yeah, I think it's more about the person than it is about the accolades and stuff that they've done previously. And I think I like taking bets on people. And I think when I take bets on people, people take bets on me. And I think that's where some of this is like come and worked out.
There may be a little Midwestern mystique in here somewhere. So,
yeah,
you know,
I think so.
Loyalty, working hard, figuring it out, settle this for me, Zach. Settle this for me. I have heard multiple times this summer, I have heard that the very best place to be when it comes to summer months in the United States is Northern Michigan. Well, do you agree with this? Do you agree? Because this is like news for me. I'm always
Michigan or Wisconsin. What are we talking about?
I've heard Northern Michigan is what I have heard.
So they're very similar. I would peg there's a few areas in Wisconsin that are just as beautiful as Northern Michigan, but it's up there. It's up there. I mean, lake life in like the Midwest is in the summer is legit. Like
legit.
It's perfect. Like there's nothing, everyone's chill, everyone's hanging out. The thing, this is the key. There's 7 to 9 months out of the year that we hate the weather, right? We're like, this shit sucks. And so when it comes, everyone's just like 10 out of 10 every day. Don't care. Nothing's going to piss me off. We're just going to have a good old time.
Yeah.
That's why I think it is. So like, if you can be elsewhere and have, live somewhere really nice, good weather, San Diego, something, and just like enjoy it. And then come here in the summer, you're hacking the system because we eat shit all year. And then we get our 3 months to really enjoy it. I think that's what it is. But no, I mean, it's beautiful weather. I mean, it's like 80s, sunny, lakes are like crystal clear. It's good stuff. Lots of boating.
Don't sleep on the Midwest.
Don't sleep on the Midwest.
Yeah,
definitely not.
In the summers.
Dean Brennan, he wants to get a little cabin up there, cabin in the woods on a lake, and go there every summer. Zach, brother, we appreciate you.
He's coming back. Zach, we appreciate your time. Really, thank
appreciate you making the time to join us. Here I am again. And brother, we love it. We love what you're doing in the space, and we love the talent that you develop, and keep at it. We look forward to having you back, man. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Cool. There's a reason when people make a switch from whatever SMS partner they have at PostScript, they see a plus 22% increase in SMS revenue on average. Now, I didn't see that. I saw a whole lot more. We went from making very little money on SMS to being the top 1% account in their entire platform inside of a year. And the secret is I just did what they said. And what they are saying is that you're leaving money on the table and your customers text you back. Go get the conversation report, direct-to-consumer.co/the conversation report. The good news is PostScript's AI shopper can now have one-to-one conversations with your customers at scale. Many thanks for PostScript being part of the show. Your buyer data already knows what ad you need to make next. You just can't read it yet. Most brands and marketers brief from instinct. Okay, what's our best performing ad? Let's change a little bit. Proxima changes the input here. Read your conversions against real shoppers across 2,000 plus e-commerce brands. Shows you exactly who's buying, what else they respond to, and where your account has gaps. You just wire up Meta, wire up Shopify. Proxima begins to map every conversion back to a real buyer segment inside the commerce graph. And no longer are you briefing from a blank page. You get a feed of creative briefs. First 3 briefs are going to be free for you every single month. Go to Proxima.ai, stop the slop. Many thanks for Proxima being part of the show. The one and only Bill D'Alessandro coming inside of the show right now, VP of Corporate Development, coming to us by way of FoodScience. This guy, he knows a thing or two. He knows a thing or two. I think he's scaled a little revenue in his day. I think he's appropriately used debt, methinks, in his day, because he's also got a lot to say about that. And I think if you've got a dog or a pet that is alive, he probably knows what brands that pet needs to be consuming and the biggest bets to make over the next 10 years inside of that space. We must welcome him inside of this show. Welcome now the one and only Bill D'Alessandro. Get in here, Bill.
Let's go, Bill. All right. Man, that is a great intro. And the first time in a decade I've not been introduced as a CEO, which was kind of weird. Having run my own business.
Really,
well, I've run my business for a decade and I'm not anymore, which is weird for me.
Whoa. I mean, so tell us about this. Tell us about this, Bill, because I think a lot of people that get into Ecomm, you don't need a PhD. A little freedom there. I can start a business. I can sell stuff on the interwebs. It's kind of nice. I can be my own man or my own woman. And right. And now you've got like a normal job again. Like, I mean, I guess,
Well, I've managed to make it not so normal. It's actually,
I was about to say, yeah,
it's been super weird, but fun. So I don't know if people, know me. So I've been in e-commerce for over a decade. The main business that I grew was called Elements Brands, which was a holding company. We had 8 brands under the umbrella. The largest of which was called Natural Dog Company, which we sold to FoodScience last year. FoodScience is a Morgan Stanley Capital Partners portfolio company. So I am now the VP of Corporate Development, which is a fancy way of saying I'm in charge of acquisitions. So my job is to go buy other businesses, other pet businesses. So if you are listening and you have a pet business and you want to sell it, I have a checkbook. We would love to.
That's right.
But it has been wild because I actually put in for PTO now, which, I haven't done in a decade. It is a wild thrill to put in and just disappear because just go. Like, you guys know, you run your own business, you can take vacation whenever you want, but you're not really ever on vacation, right?
Not really.
But the bifurcation of just to lob in a PTO request and be like, I'm out. I'll see y'all next week. Wild thrill. So that was new to me.
I'm happy that you can do this. I somehow tied to the various accounts and such that I've been managing over the years. Even when I'm on vacation, I've never really taken a vacation. But I love this. I love this, and it rings so true. It rings so true, Bill. I understand that you are hailing to us by way of Charlotte, North Carolina. You're part of the Ecomm gang
That's
there.
Right.
Is that right?
That's right. Oh. That's how me and Colin. Colin, where are you? You right down the street from me?
I probably am. I'm in East Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in South Park area. So yeah, we're probably 10 minutes away right now.
Casual flex. Chris, South Park is an incredibly nice area of Charlotte if you want some lore about South Park.
Just a little flex.
I didn't live in South Park before I sold the business. Let me put it that way.
That's fair.
Well, we're glad that you do now, Bill. Tell us, man, what's going on in the pet world? What are you excited about? I mean, we've been seeing things developing with Loyal, and the dogs are going to live forever. And but I saw some metrics recently that maybe a little less spending on the pets as of late. In general, kind of macro trends. What's going on in the pet world? What excites you?
So it's interesting. Pet has been on a wild ride, for the past kind of 5 to 8 years. COVID was gasoline on the pet industry because suddenly everybody was home. And so they got dogs and cats, but largely dogs. And then also their dog is sitting staring up at them all day, every day. And so they started spending more money on the dogs, right? Yeah. So both total head count, dog count, and dollar spent per pet exploded. It also interplays with, just the general people are having fewer kids and getting more dogs. The humanization of pet. This is like a huge macro trend. People are having birthday parties for their dogs. They're giving their dog supplements. They're giving their dog, steak for dinner. So just dogs are the new kids. Plants are the new dogs is the other thing that I've heard. So basically, everybody that used to have a kid gets a dog. Everybody that would have had a dog gets a plant. I'm not sure this is a healthy trend overall, but it's definitely happening. So there was kind of this huge explosion during COVID. And my business, Natural Dog Company, really rode that wave. We scaled substantially during COVID. Great for everybody in the pet industry. Tons of private equity capital came in. So very heady days. That was when Zesty Paws sold for 6 times revenue, when Pet Honesty sold for something approximating that, et cetera. A ton of capital came into the space. The last couple of years of pet is a little bit of the shakeout. All those dogs are still here. Right. Everybody that got a dog in COVID, you can't get them back. Those dogs are still here. But so much capital and so many brands came into the space. Now we're kind of seeing who has the staying power and who the winners are. There's so many Me Too brands. There's so many people with the same hip and joint supplement, the same Skin & Co supplement, et cetera. So there's a real desire now. There's a ton of capital that wants to invest in the space. I mean, Morgan Stanley wants to put 9 figures of capital.
Let's go, baby.
In the ground in pet, right? So, and we're one of a number of private equity firms that have numbers that size.
Wow.
Challenge though, when the space is growing at 10% a year over year, the TAM is like 1 to 1.5 billion, which sounds like a lot, but let's say $1.5 billion TAM, how much of that is the big established players? Probably half, right? How much of the remaining businesses are, have already sold or are ready to sell or are big enough to sell? And so the TAM of there's only, a couple $100 million of acquirable pet supplements revenue right now. And the private equity firms, us included, are really looking for what makes these brands different. Everybody's got the same hip and joint supplement, but like, do you have a patented molecule? Do you have just having a brand? Oh, we have IP. What is it? It's our logo. That's not enough. The private equity money really wants to see studies, science, patents, and that's what we're really focused on at FoodScience. I mean, our business has been around since 1970. It was family owned. Now it's private equity owned. But what drew Morgan Stanley to it was that we own several patents on pet supplements, ingredients. We can make claims. We've done studies. So that's kind of where the pet industry is right now. Is it's really shaking out a lot of kind of the Me Too, same formula, meta ads, machines, brand. Some of them are still doing very well, but the CACs are really high. It's almost impossible to be first order profitable in the space. I mean, CACs are between 60 and $100 typically. And selling price is 30, 40.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
But the LTV is great, right? So there's this J curve where you have to invest in the J curve. Retention really matters. So being well capitalized helps a lot to kind of ride.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But then there's also a lot of these brands. Like I saw a founder the other day. This business was 3.5 years old, and they were tracking for 80 million this year in pet supplements. I mean, crazy, like out of nowhere, all meta and YouTube. The problem though was it was a whole bunch of contractors, like no full-time employees, a whole bunch of international people, and it was like all meta direct response ads. And so private equity looks at it and go, what are we buying? Right? Like who's like, we're going to be left holding the bag. Like whose throat do we choke? The founder leaves. How we run this loosely coupled network of agencies and contractors and all this stuff. And then the claims are totally out of bounds. Like they're making claims that like, if we were to buy this, we would get 20 letters, class action letters. Like the press release goes out, right? Morgan Stanley acquires such and such. Boom, lawyer field day. So what's interesting is people are scaling, but it's very hard to create a saleable asset right now because it's hard to get on the shelf at Petco because you go to Petco and you go, hey, look, we're doing 50 million online and I've got this hip and joint supplement. It's glucosamine and chondroitin and greenlit muscle. And they go, I have 4 of those on my shelf already, right? Like I don't need you. And so it can be really hard to kind of crack out of that little D2C bubble. It's also very hard to scale in the D2C bubble without something really different and without making claims you're not allowed to make. So it's a hard needle to thread to create a saleable pet asset right now. But if you can do it, there are oodles of dollars, like desperate for it. Desperate for it. So if you're a founder out there, like I have thought this for a couple of years, huge opportunity to build private equity shaped, acquirable, clean, science-driven brands right now. Acquirers are paying double-digit multiples.
Colin's like on fire in his brain.
I'm going crazy right now.
I know you're on fire.
I'm thinking about all of this all the time. So when you're looking at that business specifically, is that just spitting off a ton of free cash flow? And then for a way that you're thinking about that, could you make the argument back to Morgan Stanley where, okay, yes, this is throwing off a ton of cash flow, but we're also willing to then put in basically an interim CEO who's going to be a new operator to basically de-risk the business out of Meta?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know that's a lot easier said than done. You just hand wave
Totally.
like the biggest hand wave in
I know.
CPG. Once you start diversify away from Meta, like, well, launch retail,
it's easy.
It's easy. But also, like, you got to remember, like, what price is the best diligence? And so, like, if I get to pay 1 times EBITDA, sure, we can do all that. But these businesses are asking for double-digit EBITDA multiples, revenue multiples, whatever, and it's just too much risk. And like that founder is going to get a huge check, and like you just got to hope that he stays interested enough to like pass the baton. And actually, this guy I'm talking about is an incredible marketer. I mean, like real talent, right? Which
he must be.
He is legit, like incredibly great marketer. The problem though is that makes his business less saleable because it's obvious like he's the magician. Right? Like he's the whole business, which is great for him. Like he's making a ton of money in cash flow, but until he can kind of step out of the middle and very convincingly build a team that is the magic, the business is not nearly as acquirable.
Wow.
I have had this exact same sentiment for a clothing brand within our space because the founder is the exact clothing brand. It's through and through. And I've talked with the people in operations there and I'm like, you realize as long as he stays in there, this thing is basically hitting scale. Like you're basically destroying him personally because he is the business and it's like so closely tied at that point.
Yeah, it's very hard to exit when it's so founder dependent. I mean, if you want to exit and walk away, if you have a founder dependent brand, sure, raise minority growth capital, sell 40%, stay on, hire a CEO and stay involved. You know, that is a path that is open to you. But if you want to kind of sell 80+% of the business and then transition out of the business, almost impossible if you are the magician.
You know, you're bringing up a point here, Bill, often as you're talking about having a, like a proprietary product. There's like something that is fundamentally unique about it. And this seems to be, even cross-categorically true. It's definitely, it's not 2016 anymore. You can't just like spin up he's got a hat company. Now I got a hat company. And, we run it on Meta and we make lots of money. Right. This kind of proprietary type product. I mean, it seems to be more necessary than ever. Like, where's the innovation at, man? I mean, is it like discovering a new molecule that somehow you patented own? I mean,
probably licensing a new molecule, right? Probably finding one that has already been created. There's actually, which has been interesting. I've spent more time in this space over the last year. There actually are a fair number of businesses that are $1 million in sales and barely break even because the skill of developing the new molecule very often does not overlap at all with the skill of creating a brand, running meta ads, etc. Same thing does not overlap at all with the skill of running a pet supplements manufacturing facility, right? Like these are why value chains exist. So some of the work that I've been doing is trying to find these smaller businesses that have real science, but are just bad at business and trying to make them a deal where they can participate some in the upside and say, hey, like we already work with tens of thousands of veterinarians. We already have shelf space at every major pet retailer and Target and Walmart and all these places. So why don't we take your IP, package into a product with our name on it, pay you a royalty, and we both win here because you can't do this without us.
Your CX team is buried in repeat tickets that are costing you money. Rich Panel is the AI help desk that fixes this massive headache and automates 70 to 80% of your interactions. You're only responsible for the exceptions. Your team of Rich Panel AI agents has got you on the rest end to end. If you're paying humans $2 to $10 per ticket, you need to see what 30 cents feels like. Ridge did this, cut their cost per ticket by 70%, save $500,000, and 50% autonomous resolution in 30 days guaranteed or your money back. Go to richpanel.com, book your demo today. Many thanks for Rich Panel being part of the show. If you're getting 5,000 orders a month and you can sprinkle in $3 to $4 extra on each one of those without touching your ads, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, it would. That's what brands like Olakai, Cozy Earth, Groove Live are doing with Rocked After Sale every single day by adding post-purchase upsells and downsells from the cart through the thank you page and then stacking an extra 30 to 50 cents just by showing offers from Disney Plus, HelloFresh, Venmo, etc. It's high margin revenue straight to your bottom line. You can be live in minutes. Go to aftersale.com/offers. Truly a no-brainer. Many thanks for Rocked After Sale being part of the show. Well, that's deals worth more. That sounds like hand over fist. Everybody needs to be giving Bill that deal. They need to be rubber stamping that one saying, yes, please.
Yeah, I mean, bring them on. We're trying. That's my job is try to find those.
That's a great deal.
But you're
Bill,
right, though, in that there is so much Me Too. And in big TAMs too, like clothing is like the classic massive TAM, right?
Yeah.
And Me Too can totally work, and you can build a brand on brand, right? If the product's not that different. But to get the really big exit multiples, you really do have to have something different. And this is not just in pet. And the way AI is commoditizing marketing and operations, I mean, one of the last remaining moats is product. It's got to be legitimately different, and it's got to be protectable, because that's the other challenge. Like I see, I have seen some businesses that have a unique molecule or ingredient, but it's off patent. And this just means no one else is doing it. As soon as you scale and win, everybody else will go, oh, and your Amazon will be full of competitors, your MetaFeed will be full of competitors. So having both unique product is great, it's necessary, but not sufficient. You also it has to be protectable. I mean, as you guys know, having been around Ecomm, like all the Chinese clones, all the marketers who are better than you. I mean, like the piranhas come, right? As soon as any blood in the water. So the best businesses have some sort of moat protectable so they can repel the barbarians at the gate.
That's where the gremlins come out. That's where all the Ecomm gremlins come out. I want a piece of that pie, baby.
Yeah. That's right. And then you look at them and you're like, crap, they're better than me too at marketing,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, Bill, just going through all of this and going through the due diligence of a ton of these brands, are there any other categories that you're super fired up about? I know that you're specific into pet, but is there any other categories where you're like, this is a really beautiful business being built right now, a beautiful category that private equity would just gobble up? Like, is it the peptide category? Is it XYZ category that you're just fired up to have a Groon's exit on?
The peptides for dogs. Peptides for dogs, maybe.
That's what Loyal is. I mean, exactly. Peptides for dogs, right? I think we're probably it's funny. I was going to say we're maybe a ways off from peptides for dogs, but what's interesting is we might not be, because the regulatory barriers are so much lower in animal. Yeah. So, and that, by the way, is Loyal's whole thing. They're trying to prove this out in dog and then take it to human, because the regulatory barriers are lower in dog. That's their whole strategy.
Oh, look at you, Bill. No, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's their whole thing. They've got this compound that they think is a longevity compound, but how are you ever going to take that to human? Because your trials need to be 30 years long, right? Like, it's not viable. And also that whole FDA is miserable, right? So they're going to do it in dog, who have shorter lifespans, fewer regulatory barriers, and then try to make the leap to human.
Tip of the cap. We need to have a tip of the cap for Bill D'Alessandro here. That's crazy to me. Yeah, that's crazy to me. And that's good sauce for us. Tell me this, Bill. I have heard you often riff on debt in a positive sense. I think maybe just because of my background, growing up like working class, lower middle class, and just my own background from East Texas and all the things. I'm just like debt bad, sure. And I got to avoid that. The only debt I want to carry is my mortgage, and debt bad, no debt, please. And I've just kind of like grown up and lived in this kind of bootstrapped mentality. And tell me, how do people, use debt and not burn themselves up, ruin their business?
You've been hanging out with my good friend Andrew Darian. I saw you had him on the show a week ago, and it seems like he's working your mouth, because he and I always spar about this, because he's the same way, and I think a lot of people are, rightfully so, because most people, when they think about debt, they think about consumer debt, consumption debt, right? A car loan, a credit card debt, like those types of things. And yes, those things are financial poison, and you don't need to be over levered in your personal life. But business debt, or I would say asset-backed debt, and I'll use your example of the mortgage, right? A mortgage is fundamentally not credit card debt. And there's, somehow that the mortgage is okay and the credit card debt is not, right?
Yep.
And the reason the mortgage is okay is because it's backed by an asset that is hopefully appreciating, but also in theory, it's cash flowing. Your house is not cash flowing you directly, but it's saving you the rent, right? There's a financial calculation in owning that asset where the leverage makes sense. You can take that same concept and bring it to business debt, which can make a ton of sense. You've heard debt referred to as leverage. Right? Where does that term come from? It literally is referring to the lever, right? It magnifies your outcome. So if you put debt on a financial investment of any kind, the acquisition of a business, the ownership of the business, the expansion of a business into a new area, et cetera, you're going to have to put less of your money, aka equity, in, because you get to put some of the bank's money, debt in, right? If things go good, you do great, right?
Yeah.
Because the bank only needs to get paid back their principal plus 12% or whatever,
Sure.
right? They don't participate in the upside at all, right? If things go bad, you get zeroed out really fast, right? And you know this in the context of buying a house, right? If the house declines a little bit in value, all of your equity is vaporized. So debt magnifies your returns. So debt in itself is not bad. Debt is a tool. I always say to people, it's like fire or a gun. Like you can cook your dinner or burn your house down.
Burn that house down.
Fire is not bad, but it's dangerous, right? It's a
Yeah.
powerful tool, and you have to know what you're doing. And the challenge in the e-com space over the last 5 years has been kind of the rise of this merchant cash advance style lending. You know, click a button, no diligence, you pay back 12% of your sales every day until it's paid back. And people go, oh, like this is, you know, this is easy money. And they just press the button, press the button, press the button. And they don't understand typically why they need the money. What they just know is they go, I have a PO due. I need to buy more inventory and I don't have the cash. Boink. And they press the button. Well, why? Right? It's probably because your margins aren't as good as they need to be. It's probably because your overhead is too high. It's probably because your meta spend is too high. Your CACs are too high, right? You have a business model problem. And it's like that meme where the guy like slaps the sticker on the tank of water.
Yeah.
He's like, bam, fixed it, right? And that's what people do with the emergent cash advances. Boom, it's fixed. And then they need another one and need another one. And then they go bankrupt because they didn't they fixed typically a margin problem with debt, right? They didn't ask like, why don't I have the cash to pay for my next run of inventory? The previous run of inventory, in theory, I'm selling it for more than I bought it for. So why did the previous run of inventory not generate the cash that I need to buy the next run of inventory? And that's the question to be asking, not slap the tape on the tank, right?
Boy, that's
so
perspective.
You need to be, if you're going to borrow money of any kind, merchant cash advance or otherwise, you need to be holding in your hand a sophisticated financial model that is telling you what you are going to do with that money, how you're going to earn a return on the money in excess of the cost of borrowing it, and how you're going to pay back the principal plus interest. And if you are holding in your hand that financial model, rock and roll, right? I mean, that's what debt is for. Debt is used all day, every day. The entire private equity industry is built on debt. Almost every public company is carrying debt because it allows them to magnify their equity returns and deploy their capital into productive places. But unsophisticated use of debt will destroy you and you can burn your house down. So you need to be holding that sophisticated financial model. And if you are not, stop. Don't press that button.
So true.
Listening to you talk about it, it makes me think, as long as I'm near Bill, if I need a sophisticated financial model, one will magically appear. You know, listening to you talk about it, it makes all the sense in the world. It makes all
I mean, so if you don't have a sophisticated financial model, there are that you can find me. I will help you. There's a ton of good content on the internet. You need a 13-week cash flow model. Type 13-week cash flow model in your favorite AI model of choice. It will probably build it for you, right? Wow. And model out the cash flows. Where's the cash coming in? Now I'm layering on this new cash going out. Can I service all the debt? Am I going to have the same problem in 90 days when I need to buy more inventory, et cetera? So it doesn't have to be rocket science, but I think people think, oh, like I'm not a finance guy. Like I can't do that. Like I don't, that's beyond my scope. But that is a cop out and it's not allowed. Like you are running a business, accounting is and finance are the language of business. You need to speak the business or you speak the language of business or get out. It's not, you don't just get to be bad at this. Like this is the thing. You're like, oh, it's just, okay, I'm just bad at this. So but I can still run a business. No, you can't. Like you got to get good. Table stakes.
I totally agree. I mean, if you've seen so many deals at this point, you've done so much due diligence. You see so many deals. If there's an e-commerce owner listening to this, what are the 1 or 2, 3 pieces of advice that you're giving to them so that they can actually have that exit in the next few years? What do they need to be doing right now?
It's funny. This is the second call today where somebody asked me exactly that question. I was on with a pet founder like 2 hours ago. Same question. So what's interesting? So I mentioned, that business that scaled so fast, but they were making all the wrong claims. You need to do it the right way because private equity in general. So let's even zoom out. If you're going to sell your business, there is like a 80% plus chance you're going to sell it to private equity. Yeah. Like these are your typical acquirers, right? Unless you get really big and you're Groons and you're going to sell it, to a huge strategic. That's probably not you. Anybody listening, right? Like that's an outlier outcome. You are probably selling it to private equity or on even the lower end, a guy with an SBA loan. Yeah. Which means that these have got to be somewhat professional acquirers because their capital requires them to do a fair bit of underwriting. So you need to ask yourself, am I doing things the right way? Am I compliant with all the labor laws? Am I compliant with all the marketing law? Like, am I doing everything the right way? And if you're not, you got to get that cleaned up. So that's one. Two, you've got to be showing some profitability. I mean, I've seen people all the time. They go, oh, like we're not profitable. We're barely profitable because we're plowing it all back into growth. And I go, okay, so can you show me like a really sophisticated cohort model that is justifying that decision, cohort by cohort? And like the answer is always no. Because the problem is, right, like private equity is going to be using some debt to acquire your business, right? That's just how their business model works. And debt requires cash flow to service it. So if you already don't have any cash flow, I can't buy your business, right? A private equity firm can't buy your business with debt. And debt is, by the way, what allows them to pay more for your business. If they can't put any debt on it, they can't pay as much. So you need to build a business that can support incremental acquisition related debt, which means you need to be building a business that can cash flow.
Cash flow, baby.
It's got to be already cash flowing in the trailing 12. And the last thing I'll say, which is something my mentor just beat into my head. I was at a time very focused on optimizing for the exit. And I was always asking exactly that question. What do I need to do to make this thing really appealing to acquirers? And he always said to me, he goes, Bill, build a great business. Great businesses are always highly valued by the market. And what does that mean? Like a great leadership team around you. It means a growing business. It means a profitable business, right? It means you're checking all the boxes. It means you're doing everything right. It means you can go on a vacation for 2 weeks and everything doesn't break, right? Yeah. Ironically, the business you want to build is the one that you never want to sell. Those businesses get the highest prices.
Yeah.
Boy,
totally agree.
Fascinating, Bill. Bill, I while we were talking, there is a pet owner that in my Rolodex that I think needs to talk with you.
Send him my way, baby.
I'm going to do that. And the funny thing is, you may have already talked to him, but I'm definitely going to send him your way.
If I'm doing my job, I have, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I bet you have. I bet you have. Tell us this, man. Where do people find you, follow you? People, especially people in pet, and they want to, get this thing rolling, get it down the line, see if there's any magic to be made there. Where do they go and find you and talk with you?
Yeah, please get in touch. And by the way, I'm cool to talk with people, even if you don't want to sell your business right now, but like you think you might want to sell your business in 2 years, and how do you want to have a more detailed, personalized version of the conversation we just had on the pod? I'm happy to do that too. Best place to find me. So I'm on X, as everybody is. I'm at Bill DA. I also have a really long corporate email address, but like if you just go to BillDA.com also, which is my website, remember Bill DA, like you can find me everywhere. Bill DA, Bill D'Alessandro. And there's a contact me form on there. Just hop in there or tweet me or get in my DMs. Like I'm very easy to find on the internet. Google my name, reach out. I love to chat.
Bill DA. I think, Colin, when I come to Charlotte, North Carolina, we need to find a way to South Park and
let's go.
Let's
do it. I wore my poncho for you too. I'll wear it.
And you're looking good, bro. You're looking good in it too. You're looking good in it too.
We can take him to the new Charlotte Uchi that is migrating from Texas now in Charlotte.
True. That's right. Yeah, I haven't been yet, so I'll save it for you.
I have. It's pretty good.
It's good.
All right.
Let's do it.
It's time. Bill, we appreciate you joining us. We look forward to having you back, brother. Thank you, man.
Good seeing you guys. Thanks for having me.
Your affiliate program, it looks fine on paper. Commissions going out, sales coming in, but the industry is built on last click attribution. It's an oversimplification of affiliates as a channel. Sati is the first affiliate platform built on multi-touch attribution, cookieless, Shopify native, services who introduced your customer, who nurtured them along the way, and who closed the sale. So you're no longer just looking at a flat list of commission payouts. You have a map of how your affiliate channel moves people through the buying decision. Go to mysati.io/champion/ecom-cowboy. Get 20% off your plan. Many thanks for Sati being part of the show. Seguno is the only marketing suite that lives entirely inside of Shopify. What's that mean, Chris? Your emails, your pop-ups, your banners, your reviews, it's all there where you already work and play every day. And it means that you don't have to seed your trust to big email that's over attributed data. With Seguno, your Shopify data is the email data. It's a big reason why they won the 2024 Shopify Build App of the Year. One-click automations, actual humans that can help you build for lean teams with big aspirations. Go get the advanced Shopify segmentation playbook at the URL scrolling across the screen. You get a free trial of the platform. Tell them Colin I sent you. It will extend that free trial to 30 days. Me. Thanks for Seguno being part of this show. Humankind candles, produced, built, created by the one and only Sam Chai. And we need to bring her inside of the show. Toronto-based dual-scented candle brands, hand-poured solo from a Midtown studio, I believe. A multi-year career across 7 VC-backed startups. She's been in tech forever, and now she is she's coming on, just moving over slightly to tech adjacent consumer world. We must welcome inside the show the one and only Sam Chai, founder of Humankind Candles. Get in here.
Hello, how's it going?
There we go, Sam. That hat.
I had to match you guys, right?
I like you even more now, Sam. The hat,
Thanks.
it just,
thank you for the wonderful intro. That was so nice. You guys did your research.
Hey, this thing smells incredible. It smells incredible, Sam. And I would love for you to just at the jump here, just back up and give us a little background on you and how you got into this deal, because you probably could be working for OpenAI right now, but now we're here doing Humankind candles and we're all the better for it. My nostrils especially. Can you give us some background, Sam, on taking this plunge here?
Absolutely. So before I did candles, I was working in tech as a chief of staff recruiter at, YC-backed, SV Angel-backed startups, scaling companies, hiring a bunch of people, getting our first hundreds of thousands of dollars, all the things an early employee would do. But at my job, I was working 24 hours, which I'm sure you guys also work 24 hours. And I would light a candle at the end of each day. And then I was like, wait a minute, why am I spending all this money on candles? And I could probably just make money by making some. And I go through a candle a week. And then I started making them for myself. And then it sort of snowballed. All my friends wanted them. My family wanted them. And it became a company. So I was a hardcore candle user for 2 years until I was like, why don't I just do something that I like? And now I'm still stressed 24/7, but it's a good stress.
It's stress that you chose, right? It's stress that you said, I want to take this adventure, which means the world in entrepreneurship. When it's stress that you chose, you want, you own, I think it makes a big difference. Well, I mean, kudos to you, because the product, the product is fascinating to me. Yeah. I'm sure the double scent thing, that's got to really lengthen the amount of time that it takes to make these things, right? I mean,
it doubles the production time. I don't know why I do it either, but
I don't know why I do it. Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, where did
that come from?
It actually just came to me in a dream. And I don't think it's really hit yet, but I have ever since I started, I had a strong feeling about it. Because for me, if I was burning the same candle every day, I would eventually stop smelling it. It's sort of like cologne or perfume. Yeah. And then you can't tell if your house smells good. What if it smells like poo when people come over and you can't smell your candle anymore? So I wanted to make a transition to make sure that I could always make sure my house and my home smell great.
I find that really interesting. Keep going, Colin.
Let's go. Also, the chat said Sam's candles are the best, by the way. Someone in the chat.
Agree. They are the best.
Too.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Could you talk to us a little bit about the packaging too?
Yeah, so the packaging was actually done by one of my customers. So one of my customers is so obsessed with my candles, and he used to be a designer for Bulgari and Pucci. So he did it for me for $500 and 4 custom candles, and we got featured on the die line. So it's a big. I got so lucky.
Did you really? You got
Oh
featured on
my-
the die line?
Yeah, for a very low cost, and I was so lucky that I had that customer that loved my products.
Let's go,
Oh my
Sanjay, in the
gosh.
chat as well. Sanjay, hey, let's go.
Ramadan John of Candles. It came to her in a dream. Yeah. I
Let's go.
find this I find this, Sam, when I like look at this thing and I think about like who it's for. I love your story for like how you came to this. It's like you're working all the time. It's like ritual for you, and you're like lighting it at the end of the day, and you're wanting that like second scent, because I find this like if you smell something for too long, eventually you don't smell it.
Yeah, then what's the point? Why do you pay $100 for a candle if you can't smell it?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
these flavors, I would call them, but these scents, pistachio cream and Japanese milk bread. Those are great. I mean, very, very unique. Tell me this, when you think about like who your ICP is, your ideal customer, like who are you thinking of? I'll just say my mother, who is probably listening to this right now. My
Hello.
mother, like I have bought her candles like this, not as good as this because they didn't have the dual scent, the dual flavor. But I think like somebody who like wants their home to smell nice, have a pleasant experience when they and others come in. But who's your ideal customer for this thing?
Yeah, so when I first started, actually, a lot of my customers were New York, LA tech bros that were trying to buy for their
Were they
girlfriends
really?
or
Oh,
potential girlfriends. Trying to impress them with their niche candle knowledge, trying to show off, One of my customers, one time he's like, "Oh, Sam, if I buy your candles, I'm afraid I'm going to look ran through." I said, "I think you should buy them." So
That's awesome.
started like that, but then afterwards I started, obviously women love self-care and wellness, so a big part of my ICP now, as it's changed, is mostly just women trying to take care of themselves, trying to find a moment to themselves after, usually corporate workers as well, so very similar to me. I'm so glad that my company grew up looking just like me, trying to solve the same problem that I was going through. So yeah,
that is so interesting. That's
how are you kind of like approaching the rest of the year as far as, partnering with influencers? Because I think this is so beautiful. I think this is such a perfect gifting idea, where I would say this is just an amazing Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. This is a smash hit product. But how are you going to be approaching kind of influencers and partnerships within that space for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so I actually don't do any influencer marketing right now because I just don't know how. And the other thing is that I think it's going to be a lot of people to manage, and I don't really feel like managing people right now. But for me, what I really want to focus on, like at Humankind, it's about human interaction. So I want to focus on my relationship with my customers, making sure that I'm listening to their requests, their sense, what they want out of the candles, and also celebrating their achievements as well. So one of my customers just won a Blitzer prize. So I sent her some PR. I was like, this is going to be better than any other influencer. So super happy for her. And that's it. I don't know. I just love, another one of my customers just got married. So I think I'm going to send him a candle too.
That is awesome. Well, Sam, I love this focus. We recently had Chris Reuter, CEO of Spikeball. And this was his same. Of course, he didn't take the plunge like you have early on. He actually was working on Spikeball just nights and weekends and for like 6 years. And what he did that eventually became like his flywheel for growing the business was literally just emailing his customers and like writing them back and like showing that he cared and saying like, hey, how did you find us? Like, what are you into? Like, where are you playing Spikeball? What are you doing? So I love this focus of yours on your customers. I also think, much like you were like going through a candle a week. I feel like this thing would be a bang up subscription product. I mean, am I crazy for thinking that? I think this would be a great subscription product. Your email provider and your tech stack probably only recognizes about a third of your returning shoppers. Everyone else, they're browsing anonymously, and your flows, they're just sitting idle. Tye identifies up to 70% of your total site traffic and pushes those shoppers into the flows that you already run. Caraway, as an example, uses Tye's predict scoring to lift opens by 40%, clicks by 30%, while sending 20% fewer emails. Go book a walkthrough. Go to meettye.com/cowboy. When you do, tell them that Colin and I sent you today. Many thanks for Tye being part of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what's really working right now, not what worked 6 months ago, but what's actually scaling on the market today, Trend Track gives you full access to the marketing playbook of any brand in the world. From every Meta, Google, TikTok ad they run to every email newsletter they send their customers, your direct competitors, the biggest players on the market, is all there. All the market data centralized in one place, refreshed every 24 hours. Go to trendtrack.io and get hooked up with them today. Know what's actually working on the internet. Many thanks for Trend Track being part of the show.
Yes, so I do have a candle club. I just call it Sam's Candle Club. People get a candle every single quarter, and they get to be in a group chat where they can talk to me whenever they want. So one of my goals for every day, like I have a list of things I need to do, is talk to my customers every single day. If I have talked to a customer that day, I would have won that day. So I try to keep up with them, So I think, definitely though, I got to put some more gas on the fire, like for the subscriptions. I have to share that with more people.
I love that. I love that. How do I get into Sam's Candle Club? What do I do?
Got it. Yeah, it was on this other app, but I'm gonna migrate it to Shopify soon. Thank you for asking.
Let's go.
Yeah, I gotta get that set up.
Okay, that's awesome.
Where did this emphasis on kind of customer care come in? Because from just talking to you, it seems like you are extremely intentional about customer care, customer relationships. You have, some guys where it's just like, I want to make number go up and to the right as fast as possible. But it seems like you're actually nurturing a community. Where did this come from? Where did this kind of fire come from to talk with your customers?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, in tech, it's all about B2B SaaS sales. So I was doing sales like crazy, and I was making the number go up, but I actually didn't feel that I had well, I did, because they obviously bought from me, but I didn't feel like I had a strong relationship with the people that I was selling with. And that doesn't feel very good. Like, imagine you spend a lot of money on something and you don't really get to know the person selling you that product. Like, if you think about all of the amazing products in your life that you use almost every day, like if you can think of one that you, number one, really love, and number two, really love the customer service, love your interactions with the person selling you that candle or that product, there's probably only a few. And so for me, like my background in B2B SaaS and not having that customer interaction, like I just miss talking to people like normal human beings. I miss celebrating people's achievements like normal, like a Pulitzer Prize or a wedding or, So for me, that lack of customer interaction early on in my career led me to having a hyper focus on making sure that my customers have the best customer experience they're ever going to have at any other.
Let's go, Sam.
Let's go.
Let's go, Sam.
Oh, Sam.
Boy, that's exciting. It's exciting. There's
That
fire there. There's fire there, Sam. And I will say too, this kind of thought about doing things that don't scale early on.
100%.
And being there for your customers. So, and there was another operator that your story here and your fire for customer interaction reminds me of. Our friend from Ministry of Supply. What was our friend's name that came on here? Aman. Yeah, he is to this day. He's still, they have like a corporate policy, and he himself, he's like, they want to set aside like 20 minutes every day where he does exactly what you're doing, still like a decade later, and he's emailing his customers, he's texting his customers, he's calling them, how are you doing? How, are you enjoying your shirt and your apparel? I think this kind of heart and system that you've put in place to speak with your customers regularly is only going to pay off for you in the years hereafter.
Yeah, I sent them last month. I sent them voice notes because I was like, what would people like not expect from a brand of,
Yeah.
but would listen to? Like, if you get a mystery voice note, like I feel like you're probably
I would
gonna
listen.
listen to it.
Yeah.
So
I
the
would
voice
listen to
notes
that.
were really fun.
And
That's so
also, do I want to churn? Do I want to cancel my Candle subscription from the nice woman who's been sending me voice notes every? No, I don't want to churn. I gotta stay subscribed. I gotta stay subscribed. I mean, this is a good point. This is a good point. How many people are sending you pleasant voice notes in your life? I mean, other than for me, basically
Maybe your
only
mom.
Raba. Yeah, maybe mom and Raba are the only two people that are sending. I can't even get Colin to send me a voice note. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
This is a great point, though, Sam. I like that. Actually, sending your customers voice notes, very unique.
Also, the WhatsApp group is, I believe you said it was a WhatsApp group, right? That you all get together. And I mean, nobody is really
Instagram.
thinking about
Yeah.
Instagram. That's so awesome. I mean, nobody's really thinking about that. Do you have any other kind of crazy ideas that you want to execute on as far as like taking this customer service to the next level? I mean, you don't have to share any trade secrets if you're not comfortable, but is there anything you kind of want to unveil soon?
I don't think there's a trade secret. I think you just
Yeah.
have to treat people like humans.
Yeah.
You have to treat them like not a transaction.
Mhm.
You treat them
Humankind.
with respect, treat them with care, like that. But you have to embody that.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, I
one
like
thing
that.
that I'm really proud of is that like I've done 6 figures of sales, but I've never had a return in my entire life.
Stop it.
Whoa.
You've never had a return, Sam?
No, 0 returns.
Whoa.
That's crazy. I mean, that's
Wow.
Yeah.
unbelievable. Are you going to be pushing into retail shortly?
Oh man.
I need more D2C leverage to go into retail, but eventually,
Yeah.
yeah, I would hope so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this
Sam,
would destroy in retail.
this would crush. This would
Yeah.
crush in retail. I mean, the look, and I don't know if you have to change the packaging at all for retail, but man, the look and everything, it looks so refined and like
off the
so
shelf, crazy, right?
I mean,
Like
look
off the
at that.
shelf, just the lighting hits it, and then you just
Yeah.
this reflective vibe. I mean,
it's
crush.
got such a good look. Wow.
Thanks. Yeah, my hesitancy is also like I don't want to go into retail too fast because I want to preserve the relationship I have with my customers.
Totally.
There's a level of obscurity and lack of access to people that I'm not quite ready for. I can't quite let go, setting my customers' voice notes yet. So it's not ready for me, but eventually.
Wow. I am hearing right now, producer Jack says that people are loving you and these candles on the chat. Look at all these coming up here. If you tried the candles, they smell so good you can eat it. I mean, look at all of these. Don't eat it, obviously. Yeah, everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to go and buy these. Don't eat them, but you need to buy them.
Don't sue me either for eating.
Chris is gonna eat his.
I would say, Sam. I mean, okay, not too. I mean, this is totally not too much, and it matches your initial customer. I mean, every person every son needs to think about like, what am I going to get my mom? And what are you going to get her? You're gonna get her Humankind candle. Okay. And then every boyfriend needs to think, what am I going to get my girlfriend? Every husband, what am I going to get my wife for birthday or Mother's Day? Or what? Humankind candle. Even better, Sam's Candle Club.
Absolutely.
And get the year long, bite it off. And what that's going to mean is that your spouse, your mom, your wife, the girlfriend, all of them, they're just going to love you 12 times more. Because this thing's going to come every month. Is it every month, Sam? Is it every week? Is it every 2 weeks?
Every
What
quarter.
Is it?
Quarter,
Oh,
yeah. I don't want to like people have been telling me to do every month, but like I'm not a supplement brand. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to rip people off.
Sam.
Here's the thing.
This is not ripping people off. Not ripping people off.
I'm going to push back on that, Sam. There's multiple rooms in people's houses that need candles. People have big houses. So,
that's true.
if I have a 4-bedroom house, I need 4 I need at least 4 candles. And we're not even talking about my bathrooms. Like, now I need 6 candles. So like, I push that down. I push it down every month.
And I will say, maybe I want my significant other to be reminded that I love them 12 times, at least 12 times a year.
Exactly.
Exactly. I hear you. I'm going to add that today.
All right, let's go, Sam. Sam, hey, I'm so glad that we have met you. Sam, where are you? Where are you located? Where are you located?
Toronto.
You're in Toronto.
Let's go.
I may or may not know of two. I can't say.
We can't say right now.
I can't say anything. But I'll say this. I'm a big fan of Toronto, Canada. How about that? I can say that.
Toronto.
I'm a fan of Toronto, Canada, and I hope, Sam, that you will come back. We want to talk candles more. We want this subscription to go up and to the right forever. And I'm so pumped for you. And keep us updated. We want to have you back, Sam. And maybe someday we'll even see you in Toronto, Canada. Who knows, Colin Doherty?
You guys are free to crash on my couch. That's the hidden. Okay. I had a customer crash on my couch before. A stranger.
Stop it. So. You had a customer crash on your couch?
Yeah, it was great. You guys can crash on my couch too. Now you got the candles, so you're allowed.
Okay, you have to tell us a story. Before you leave, you have to tell us a story of how a customer came to crash on your couch. This is like hospitality 4.0 here.
Yeah, I mean, she, of course, is one of my longest Kennel Club subscribers, and we had been back and forth on the chat, and she's like, oh, I'm coming to Toronto at this date for a wedding. I'm going to be there for like a weekend. Do you want to grab coffee or something? And in Toronto, the hotel prices are like so high. I know she can afford a hotel because, she's buying my candles like all the time. But I was like, why don't you just crash on my couch? And then she did. So it was pretty simple and easy to build that relationship, like in the group chat and then long term. But it was like, oh my God, there's a stranger on my couch that I sell candles to. And then I was like, wait a minute, she's pretty awesome. She brought me like the Trader Joe's bags. So it was great. But anyways, if you guys come to Toronto, couch privileges.
Incredible, Sam. We appreciate you making the time to join us. We are going to be your customers, and we look forward to following along, Sam. Thanks for coming. We look forward to having you back.
Absolutely.
Wow. If your growth is plateauing on search and social, it's time to rethink TV. Universal Ads makes it simple for D2C brands to run TV campaigns designed for performance without the usual mystery of getting involved with television. You get both premium streaming and linear inventory all in the same place, okay? You're reaching net new target audiences outside of the same crowded social feeds. We're all spending our dollars today. There's no hidden markups or fees. Campaign separate management. It's just like search and social. You get running minutes. TV that's designed that delivers for performance marketers. Go to universalads.com. Use code UA Cowboy. You can get $1,500 in matched ad credits. Many thanks for Universal Ads being part of the show.